Hello and welcome back to the Spin Rock Podcast. I'm your host, Angel. With me today is my co-host.
Vaughn.
All right. After the holidays, we are back and we have an end of the season or end of the month recap for November. Before that, we do have one piece of news, and that is on Tuesday, Paul Millsap has officially retired from basketball. 16 NBA seasons, four-time All-Star. How do you feel about this, Vaughn?
He was always a guy that was always under the radar, but was always solid no matter where he was. Like people forget like what he did on those Atlanta Hawks teams because they were first in the East for a good chunk of time. Uh, the only unfortunate thing was LeBron existed. Um, but even when he was a role player on the Nuggets, he was pretty solid from what I remember. Always just a solid guy, and good for him on his retirement.
Yeah, that Atlanta run was kind of special, and also when he was on the Nuggets, it was just nice to see him at least be a decent role player. Even on the Sixers for that little bit, it was like weird to see him still like doing somewhat decent. I think he's just a victim of the Grim Reaper that was LeBron in the East. But yeah, no, awesome retirement. He is. Saw this stat when he retired. He is one of 8 players all time with 500 3-pointers, 1,000 blocks, and 1,000 steals. That is crazy.
It is crazy because he was like for the longest time like a true power forward, like one of the last real power forwards, and then he like added that consistent 3-point shot to his game to stretch his career out, and it
Yeah,
worked. Like he would be out of the league, 6, 7 years earlier if it weren't for that.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, for real. Have an amazing retirement, Paul Millsap. All right, and then also for the end of the month, we're gonna also dive into some of the standings going into December. We can start off with let's start off with the East because they're not as complicated as the West. We're just gonna go 1 through 10, so that way it's the playoff picture going into December. At 1, we have Cleveland, the Cavs 21 and 3. The Celtics are second, 19 and 5. The Orlando Magic are third, 16 and 9. The Knicks are fourth, 14 and 9. The Hawks are fifth, 13 and 11. The Heat is 6, 11 and 10. And then that is the last of the over 500 club in the East. From there on, no one else is above 500.
Which is
We got the
absolutely
Bucks.
insane.
We have the Bucks who are 11 and 11. The Brooklyn Nets who are 10 and 13. The Pacers 10 and 14, and the Bulls 10 and 15. And the Pistons are 10 and 15 as well, so they have a chance to sneak in there, which is crazy. That at 10 and 15, they have a chance to sneak in there. Um, who stands out to you the most, Vaughn? Like when you look at the standings, what pops out to you, like right off the bat?
Immediately the Magic. Paolo's missed a lot of time, so that allowed Franz Wagner to go crazy, and now he's gonna miss some time. So the fact that they're
Mhm.
like even here, like I don't know if they can sustain this without such a big part of their team. But the fact that they made it this far, this high, like I think that was just eye catching.
No, for real, it's crazy. Okay, I think it's even crazier to the fact that like they're even up there at all, let alone the fact that both Wagner and Paolo are like out now. And I like when Paolo went down, I honestly thought they would like slide way down. But like you said, you know, Franz Wagner went crazy. And now it's like, okay, the Hawks are still like 2 games behind. I mean, the Knicks are like still 2 games behind them. And they're still well over 500. Um, For me, the team that stands out the most is the Cavs, like being still so firmly one first seed. I was a Cavs doubter for sure. I honestly I don't know. I honestly didn't take them seriously for a long time. And it seems like as the season goes on, they're proving me wrong more and more. I still firmly believe though that they won't do that great in the playoffs. But like at this rate, it's getting harder to defend that take than it was like just a week ago.
It definitely helps that it feels like they're better coached. Like you're seeing certain players get utilized more rather than just being the Donovan Mitchell show constantly.
Hmm.
Even like role players, be it Ty Jerome, like I thought that man was gonna be out of the league, but he's like a very solid backup guard for them. So
Yeah.
it's just little bright spots like that have shown through. Um, but yeah, I mean they deserve being like the top in the league right now. They could end up finishing the season, just how well they've looked. Just if they could stave off that injury bug, I think they very well could do it. As good as the Celtics are, they could be riding two all the way home.
Yeah. Especially with the fact that they keep just bouncing off of each other, like one win, one loss for both of them. And I feel like right now, it's like you kind of have to like be perfect if you want to overtake. Like the Cavs need to stay perfect, and the Celtics need to like find out how to like get a game off of them again. And I feel like we won't really see much change between 1 and 2 until like the very end.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna cut it close. Um, we started off with a positive note, but I gotta look at the Pacers, bro. They're below the Nets right now. What is happening? Like Tyrese Halliburton, I know he's a young player, but he just doesn't look anything like himself last year. He's had games where he has looked like that, but altogether, it's just been very rough, shooting wise and just awareness wise, especially on the defensive end. It's definitely hurting them. It's like because he's basically the engine of the offense, and if he's off, the whole team is off.
Hmm.
And it's been a long time since I've seen a team that should be good is just being brought down a peg because their star players is not up to snuff.
They're just also awful away, bro. They're 3-11 away. Like that's actually insane. And I feel like the only other teams that have like a worse away record are like the poverty teams, like the Hornets and the Wizards and the Raptors. Like those are the only teams with a worse away record than them. And I feel like it's kind of like the Golden State Warriors last year, where it's like, sure, if they sneak into the postseason, like maybe they can win a couple games. But at the same time, like you kind of know, like you can't go far if you can't manage to win away. Especially if you're an Eastern team, like you got to be able to win away games.
Yeah, like slow starts happen and they could smooth this over, but I also don't know what the solution is to get them turned around.
Yeah,
Watching it, it's not obvious to me. It just feels like they have to find the rhythm, but how do they get there? I don't know. It might just be up to coaching at this point.
yeah. That and like they have like some key players out as well still, like Naismith
That is
and
true.
Jackson.
We have seen a little bit of the Benedict Mathurin show, and like he looks good,
Hmm.
but at the same time, they're as a team not 100%, and we're just not going to see what their complete form looks like until they return. Hopefully, it's not a Pelican situation where it's like one guy returns, two guys drop out with injuries, or you don't know when a guy is going to come back. Continuously, it keeps happening, and we don't really need more of this injury bug going around because it's really affecting the league.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you said we've been mostly positive. We also just got to take a look at the Bucks. Like, are they ever gonna figure it out? Like, yeah, they're not as low as they were the last time we talked to each other, but they're still 11-11, bro. And it really is just Giannis trying to even like Dame sometimes is looking like a crutch out there. It really does look like it's just Giannis doing his best as humanly possible.
They definitely improved, but I think that's just because that's how basketball goes. It's up and
Yeah,
down sometimes, but they still don't look like a championship team like they're supposed to. Like this doesn't look like a contender still.
yeah.
Um, but
A fully
now,
healthy team as well, bro. Like they
yeah.
literally have no injuries.
Besides, is Chris Middleton back?
I'm pretty sure he's back.
Okay, well then that would make sense why they're climbing a little, but at the same time, like they don't look like a well coached team. Like I look at the Cavs, I'm like, this is like a fluid offense. Even if they're missing, it looks like it's okay. They can weather a storm. The
Hmm.
Bucks, if they start missing, I feels like they cave in on themselves.
Yeah.
And this is like one of the most experienced teams out there, one of the oldest. Championship DNA. Dame has always been reliable, so I don't know why this is such a like hurdle for them. Um, in the Celtics Bucks game, like it was a pretty competitive game, and then like Celtics would make tough plays, defensive plays, offensive plays, and they just didn't look like they believed in themselves anymore, which is an issue. Like I can't again I can't come up with a solution for that. They might just have to weather that storm as well.
Hmm. All right. Any last thoughts on the East before we move on to the West?
Um, yeah, the Sixers are cooked, bro. We didn't even mention them. They're not in our playoff, prediction at this point.
No.
Um, it would take a monumentous effort once Joel Embiid and Paul George return, and we don't even know if they have chemistry on the court like that. Especially with Maxi. Like, what do you do with Jordan McCain at that point? Like, is he just six man? Does he flourish in that role? I don't know. Like, we don't even know what this team looks like, which is sad. Um, but the trade rumors are going to go crazy this year. I just know it.
No, for real. I mean, it's crazy to think that we're in December and they're still like 3 games behind the Pistons, bro. Like they
Yeah,
are down there, 7-15.
yeah. I mean, we could always just like say it is injuries.
Yeah, they did have a rough, and like November was rough as for them.
But at the same time, like the Pelicans are in a similar situation, and I don't think there's any coming back for them either. I
Yeah.
mean, we've said at this point the Sixers come trade deadline, if they're not in a playoff position, it's probably over for them.
Hmm.
It's a little early to say now, but the hope is low. But if they're down beneath the Pistons, shout out to the Pistons, bro. Not being the worst team in the league, that's something, I guess.
No, for real. And not only that, but like this, the Sixers were 3-11 in November, bro.
Oh my god.
Like the only team that did worse than them were the Wizards and the Pelicans. And I feel like if the Sixers should be like count their blessings out there in the East, because for them, they still have a chance opposed to the Pelicans, who are like it's pretty much game over for the Pelican season. So for the Sixers, like maybe they can like sneak into the play-ins like they did last year. But like at
The
the
one,
same time, there's a lot of teams in the play-ins right now
yeah,
that
I would
are.
say, what are you saying? That are what?
Oh, I was gonna say there are a lot of teams in the play-in spots that should be better than they are.
Yeah, definitely. The only advantage would say the Sixers have over the Pelicans is that they're in the East.
Yeah.
Because if they were in the West, it would be like funeral already.
R.I.P. Cooper Flag, here we come.
So true.
Oh, right. You want to hit us with the Western Conference standings?
Okay. At the top of the West, we got the Thunder at 1, Mavericks at 2, Grizzlies at 3, Rockets at 4, Warriors at 5, Clippers at 6, Timberwolves at 7, Suns at 8, Nuggets at 9, Lakers at 10. Um,
Dang, Jokic had 52 points, and we still lost to the Hornets, bro.
to the Wizards,
Oh,
wasn't
to
it?
the Wizards. Sorry, to the Wizards.
Bro, that was the Wizards, and were missing like 3 starters. What
Look,
happened?
like, it's actually wild right now how awful that was for us. Not only that, but we lost to both the Wizards and the Cavs, like back-to-back losses for the Nuggets. It's been,
Cavs, understandable. Wizards is a punch to the gut.
dude. I mean, it doesn't help that Jamal Murray is out right now.
True. But he
But
was also
like,
kind of struggling at the same time.
yeah, but at the same time, bro, it's kind of looking like the old Nuggets, where it's just Jokic trying his best, and everyone else. Like there was times where like Michael Porter is like trying his hardest not to pass, bro. And it's not like the typical meme where he like shoots over 3 people and make it. I'm pretty sure there's been times where I saw a video of him like ooping it to himself. Like it's getting pretty rough out here. I think it
Oh,
says something when Braun is probably like our best field goal shooter. Like he's shooting 56%.
yeah, like he surprised me in the offensive end, and like I see him trying to be like the best defender on the perimeter, but he gets cooked so much.
Yeah.
It's just
Like
there's no support around him to like if he makes a mistake, it's like that's an instant bucket for the other team because no one else can cover him. Um,
yeah, because like we have Watson, but like that man is not like he's not a paint threat. Like
right. Um, got it. Your team might gotta go down as one of the worst benches currently. It's like a race between you and the Lakers for who's got the worst bench right now, at least for a contending team.
oh
Um,
no, for sure, bro. Like it goes once our starters come out, it's Russell Westbrook and then DeAndre Jordan on the court together because Saric is out. But like even with Saric in, it's like that still isn't like a good combination.
yeah, Uh, yeah. Westbrook and DeAndre Jordan. Anything you have to do anything besides have those two out there because it just makes Westbrook look bad. It makes DeAndre Jordan like how is he in the league? Which like you know we've been there. We've covered him already. Um, but yeah, like I other than those two, I can't really name much of the Nuggets bench.
Yeah, it's pretty. A lot of our players are straight up just like our draft picks. It's like Russ, Saric, Jordan, and then everyone else is young, like Hunter Tyson, uh, Payne Watson, Pickett. Like it's literally all people drafted. I'm pretty sure we don't have a single person besides like the main three I named that are not drafted before 2023. Yeah.
I mean, we've named solutions to fix this team in the past. Management just doesn't want to, pay money. I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sur- I'm kind of surprised that it's gotten us this far in the first place. Like the fact that we were able to win a ship at all. Like I feel like if I was the management, instead of letting half that team walk away in 2 years, I would have tried my hardest to keep them together. Because Russ is our only pickup in like years, bro.
And
And but that was
this is after like Russ Westbrook's stock has been at its lowest.
Yeah.
So it's not like the savvy move we think it is. It's just Westbrook outplaying expectations. Um, and even then, it's arguable whether the fit is correct. It's it's bad because after that Wizards loss, Jokic for the first time seemed, I guess, irritated. He basically said they got bitched by the Wizards. I'm like, if he's saying that, management has to take note
Yeah.
because you might lose him somehow.
Yeah, no, it's insane. Man's is like averaging a triple double with 31 points, and we're still like barely above the Lakers. Granted, we're still like above 500,
Yeah,
but
it is close.
In the
Yeah.
West, everything matters, bro.
Speaking of the Lakers, 12-11, 10th in the West. Lakers fans out there, once they saw that 2-0 start, it seemed like the delusional side was like, we're going to the finals.
Yeah.
Um, but it's what happens every year, and no matter the coaching change or what you shake up, nothing can fix this roster that feels like it's been around for like 3 years. It seems like your only real addition is Dalton Connect, a rookie.
Yeah.
Um, and the fact that he's in your starting lineup at times is like a testament how good he is, but also a testament how bad the Lakers have been. Like, scratch out injuries or whatever. You got a rookie starting already.
Hmm.
Um, like Jordan McCain, good rookie starting, and that's because the roster is crushed by injuries right now.
Yeah.
Lakers, not so much. They're just bad. Um, I, you could probably pick apart the roster. Like Gabe Vincent looks very bad at times. Uh, LeBron looks old for the first time ever. Like his defense has been noticeably down from at least past years. He looks unmotivated at certain times, and yet still he's putting up like triple doubles, 40 points. It's probably the only thing holding them together at times. AD is off his MVP high. He looks a little passive at times as well. It's just not a lot going for them, even from their own star players. And I think it's because they just see how bad the support is around them.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where you kind of have to look back and like you can't blame the coach anymore, bro. Like, okay, now you have a good coach and you're still losing games you should be winning. At that point, you got to look at your roster and be like, okay, how can we make this better? I I like how you said like the rookie is starting. He shouldn't be starting, especially when you have D'Lo and Vincent who are supposed to be like these point getting guys on your team who like just can't seem to like get going at all. Um, Rui, you know, gotta as much as a fan of him, I much of a fan of him I am. He's also kind of at times just looks like he's just there to take up space on the court.
Yeah,
It's
like
like
that's been the running theme with him is he is inconsistent, and no matter like how many good stretches come, Lakers fans trick themselves and thinking like Rui's the third option now. Like that's just never been the case.
yeah, it's just like I feel like Rui is really just there to like I don't know. He really is just there to fill up space on the court at times because like there's times where he gives in like no effort whatsoever. Yeah, it's pretty rough. I mean, I feel like if I was the Lakers, I would try to get a guard because you don't really need more forwards. You have Cam Reddish, you have Christie. Try to get those guys to do better.
I don't think
But
you can. I'm off the Cam Reddish train at this point, bro. It's been how many years? Like, I think they could just use any defense, anything. Like even if they got a center, like a really good defensive center or a decent center, so AD can play power forward. I think
yeah,
that at least helps him. Because I look at Jackson Hayes, like that man's either injured or will get like one block that's like a highlight, and then you never hear about him for months again.
I know Jackson Hayes is one of those players who you want to do so well. Like, I honestly thought when the Lakers got him last year that he would be like, I was like, oh, that's actually a good pickup for once. but,
Yeah,
but of course, the second he got into that Lakers uniform, it has not been the same.
like
I think, yeah, bro.
I
I
know
just think
they're
there's a lot of holes in their team that like is not going to be fixed anytime soon.
yeah, and it's crazy because they had the blueprint. Like they had smart players around LeBron and AD for their run, and then defense as well. Like they had like a three-man center rotation between JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, AD, um, and then on the offense you had Rondo taking some of the ball handling pressures off of LeBron. Like smart players and defense is what you need. You're not getting smart plays out of D'Lo. Um, Defense is always questionable, like top to bottom on the roster. Like you have your moments, but it's just not as
Mhm.
consistent as that championship team. Uh, that would be my go. My plan is try to like find some semblance of that DNA because whatever they got now is just not working, and they keep hanging on. Like why is D'Lo still here? Even if you had to get rid of a pick to get off Gabe Vincent's contract, I feel like you just got to do that because LeBron looks tired. There's already murmurings that I'm seeing like fans saying he should retire. That window is
Crazy.
closing, um, and the management doesn't look like they're dedicated to this core at least.
I am surprised though that like it is. I have seen people flip the on JJ Redick, but I am surprised that it's not been everyone because usually by now the coach is thrown right underneath the bus. But it seems like for once most of the people are like he's trying his best.
Yeah, I mean, third coach in how many years? Like 4 years or whatever. Not the coaching. Well, like in the past, we could point to issues that past coaches have brought up, but in certain ways, you got to ask yourself: is that really his fault 100%, or is that just a byproduct of the shitty roster? Um, if anyone is in the line of in the I don't know in the scope right now, it should be Rob Palinka.
Which is crazy because I feel like JJ Redick has kind of hinted at that low key.
You know, I would in his situation, yeah, it makes sense because if this keeps going on, Rob Palinka is gonna like somehow absolve himself of this issue, and the media will turn on JJ Redick soon enough.
Yeah,
So
true.
I guess it makes sense for him to advocate right now.
All right, we talked about the two bottomest teams, but Mavs. Every time I want to hate the Mavs, I just think they don't have the team to succeed. They go and they're 16-8, second in the West. I mean, they're looking pretty solid right now. And then like for the first time in a while, I'm not looking at them and going, "Oh, like they're like it's just literally Luca and Kyrie." Like sometimes PJ Washington is like a solid starter on their team.
Yeah, like talk about a team that is smart and plays good defense. Luca Kyrie, very smart, intelligent players. We know they got Derek Lively. Daniel Gafford has, resurged his career, I would say, on the defensive end. And
Yeah, for
PJ
sure.
Washington, too. It looks like their best perimeter defender at times.
Hmm.
He doesn't shy away from tough assignments, and he has hit some tough shots as well. And this is all without me mentioning Clay. Clay has been struggling, but somehow they're winning. It doesn't matter. He's enough in whatever form he is now. But two in the West is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how they're pulling it off, bro. They're on like what, like a 7 game winning streak right now?
Yeah, 7. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games right now.
Like, bro. And that loss was against like Miami in overtime.
Yeah.
It's really just like both Kyrie and Luca are firing all cylinders, and for once they actually have the help on the other end that they needed. They're looking pretty scary. It's just one of those things where like, yeah, I'm never gonna be convinced, bro, that a team with Spencer Dinwiddie like is gonna win a chip. Like, I don't know. I every time I like get excited for the Mavs, like I kind of like their depth kind of ruins it for them. But it looks like I could be wrong this year, bro. I don't know.
You know what? It feels like next month they'll fall to like ninth, and we'll be talking about how terrible they are. The month after, they'll be back up top three. It's just this is how it goes for them. But come playoff time, they're probably going to be lethal. No one wants to mess with the Mavs. Um, I don't think last year was a fluke. I don't know if I've said it was in the past. I still don't love Clay Thompson on this roster,
Hmm.
but they look comfortable with each other. All the guys, top to bottom, look comfortable. They have the chemistry. Yeah, they're definitely a tough team out there in the West. Speaking of a tough team, the Clippers are at 6, above the
Surprising.
likes of Timberwolves, Suns, Nuggets. I don't know how they're doing it. I really don't. Um,
James Harden is how, bro. It
James
really does.
Harden. Oh man,
It really does seem like this man is only good when he's the like only option. Like the rest of the team isn't necessarily awful, but when he is for sure the main option on this team, and all of a sudden he's thriving, bro. It's like that man really cannot share share the spotlights.
yeah. Like his assist numbers are still high. His scoring has not dropped down below 20. I think, at least average wise. Like he's looking like an all star. He probably will be an all star, to be honest.
Hmm.
And then Norman Powell has been playing some of his best basketball in his career.
And
It's
Norm Powell.
crazy. Like, shout out Zubox. He's been playing out of his mind. It's just, it doesn't make sense.
It does not. And I know we always talk about the Charlotte convicts, but bro, the Clippers have some menaces on their team, bro. Kevin Porter Jr., Terrence Mann, Kai Jones,
They definitely got some enforcers, I guess you could say.
Mo Bamba.
Mo Bamba. I I always forget about Mo Bamba, but he is actually at least a piece of this. Piece of
Yeah.
the puzzle for them. I could make an argument like this would be a playoff team in the East, but the fact they're doing it in the West, shout out James Harden and Ty Lue, whatever is going on in their minds to set up this team for success. I don't know if they can sustain it, but even without Kawhi Leonard, they still look solid. And I hate it, bro. I hate seeing them like this. I shouldn't. I shouldn't hate them for this, but like my preseason predictions getting messed up because of them.
Yeah, it's wild, bro. And they're not beating like mid teams. They got a win against Golden State early on in the season. They beat both Denver and um Golden State in November. Like I feel like they're not I feel like they are like gonna be like a second round exit, but that's a lot better than what we all thought they would be.
Oh man, like the West. has a lot of interesting teams for exceeding expectations, like the Mavs in
The
that company.
Warriors.
Yeah, I would also put the Warriors in there, the Rockets as well. And my favorite to see in this company is the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Like, people forgot how good they were,
No, they
and they're
really
back.
did, bro.
Uh, even when Ja was hurt, like they were at least competitive. They didn't like slip. And then Josh said an interesting thing. Like we all know him for like being a highlight reel around the rim. Even his missed dunks or would be dunks are basically highlights in themselves. And he said like he's gonna tone down on like attempting those because he always seems to get hurt off of them, which is enticing to me because that just means we see more John Morant, even though it's like less human highlight reel. It's just fine
Yeah.
with me because I think
But,
if there's going to be a year they go deep in the playoffs, it's this year.
but bro, those highlight dunks talk to him like the Green Goblin mask, bro. Like I seen some videos of this year where you could see him kind of hesitate and then he does it anyways. You could see that he's like, I shouldn't, and then he just lifts off anyways.
It's literally the little angel, little devil talking to him in his ear. Like now, hopefully, the angel will talk some sense into him and be like, the right play is just like a fake and then a simple layup. You don't need to go killing a man midair.
I mean, I feel like people also forgot that like they still have Marcus Smart, bro. Like Zach Edey was looking like a rookie of the year candidate before Jeremy McCain popped off. Like Desmond Bain was looking like a solid second option, bro.
Yeah, like their core is still there. Their coach is still, he knows what he's doing.
Luke Kennard, the legend.
As he got his 3-point shot back, I know he wasn't hitting as well as he used to.
I don't think so, bro. Or else 3-point percentage, 35%. Oh, I mean,
Okay.
it's not great.
He's also high volume, so it makes sense why it'd be a little
Yeah,
lower, but he is still a part of the role. At least it's not Joe Ingles.
true. Even like Scottie Pippen Jr., bro, like someone who like I for sure was thought like was out of the league is
Yeah.
like
Him,
producing somewhat.
Jay Huff, I think. Also another really good rotational player that came out of nowhere, I felt like Jay Huff was gone.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like I like their success. I hope to see more of them in the playoffs.
yeah,
Um,
they're a scary team, bro.
as
They
far as the
still got
Warriors,
Jaren.
yeah, like their core is there. They're scary. And I got to bring up my favorite team, forced upon me on the wheel spin, the Warriors. Uh, they haven't been looking quite as good, but they are trying to do interesting things, shake things up. They're benching Draymond in favor of Kaminga, the goat cum bucket himself. Um, stop my nickname. That's what the Warriors fan base call him. But yeah, at least in the past, it seemed like they used to weather storms by just letting things play out. And I think that really, we have called Steve Kerr a bad coach at times because of that. At
He
least
is.
earlier on the season, I like to see him at least try new things and having Kaminga in favor of Draymond Green. I don't know if it'll work, but it's something and it's interesting. I definitely gotta say, like losing DeAnthony Mountain,
Hurts a lot.
yeah, like good 3-point shooter, effort on defense. He was part of their defensive culture, it felt like. And now that he's gone, I could see why the defense has slipped a little bit. Um, Steph is back, so hopefully he can right the ship. I'm just glad they're not bottom of the barrel right now, because no matter how much I've hated the Warriors, uh, or Steve Kerr's decisions at times, they are actually still fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate to admit it, but you are right. When they started on that losing game streak and started falling in the standings, I honestly was like, okay, let's go. The downfall is here. Like the Warriors I thought we were gonna get is coming. But then, like you said, Steve Kerr actually was like, oh, I can't let this happen. Let me do my job. It is like surprising to see. Um Still though, I don't know, man. I feel like when I look at the top six, I'm just kind of like, which one of these teams are gonna like come back to reality? And the more I think about it, I feel like the Warriors and the Clippers are like the two that stand out to me the most. That like are overperforming more than they should. Which is funny because the Clippers are 7-3 in their last 10, and the Warriors are 3-7. So it's just like, which one of those teams are going to be the ones to like get knocked out to play-ins? I don't know, bro.
I mean, with how competitive the West is, they could just fall out of planes entirely.
Yeah, true.
Because looking on the outside, it's the Spurs, the Kings, who are not far behind, like the Lakers and the Nuggets. I mean, it's hard to make the prediction for at least one is safe, and everything below one is not safe.
Yeah, shout out to the Thunder for proving people wrong and just doing this again.
Yeah, like with injuries as well. It don't
Yeah.
matter to them. It's just not fair.
It really isn't. I mean, like, yeah, bro. How do you have both Jalen Williams and Chat out and you're still first in the West, bro? And far ahead first in the West.
Yeah, 3-game win streak, 7-3 in their last 10. Like they're not giving any budge right now.
All right. In-season tournament, Vaughn. How much have you been watching in-season tournament, Rise?
I may have missed every single in-season tournament but one.
Oh no.
It was like a Rockets game that wasn't very interesting. I haven't been super into like group stage. It's always elimination that kind of interests me.
Yeah.
Um, group stage is hard to watch only because it feels like that's where the stakes are the lowest. You can kind of tell which teams care about the tournament and which ones don't in this part of the tournament. Also, the courts are an eyesore. It's really like a 2K custom court at times by someone who was like 12 and just playing around with colors. It's not really. They stayed ugly from last year. They didn't fix that. Okay, whatever. Um, but I got more hope for the elimination portion. Like if it's its own little kind of March Madness, but with professional teams. Like I think that's really cool. I think the only way they could attract me to group stage is to change the format.
Yeah.
We've mentioned in the past it should be East and West in groups, not just conference groups.
Yeah. Basically, it
Um,
feels like just like divisions.
yeah, it's divisions that really don't matter in a sense.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I
and
agree.
it's definitely it's kind of hard to track too, like which teams are doing good in the tournament. I like I only really know until the team is playing because I'm not up here checking. Oh, Mavericks group stage record right now. I'm not going to do that for all 30 teams, but yeah, I'm just I'm ready for the actual tournament itself to start.
Yeah, and that is in 2 days. So in the East, it's Magic, Bucks, Nick Hawks, Thunder, Mavs, and Rockets, Warriors. So like yeah, bro. Already the end season like elimination bracket is way more appealing than any of the group stage games. Like Bucks Magic, fun game. Knicks Hawks, classic. Like Trey Young, like going against the Knicks. Like who doesn't want to see that? You got Thunder Mavs, which is the first and second seed right now, and then Rockets Warriors, which is like an all-time West like rivalry game.
Yeah, if I didn't know any better, I'd be like, oh, they scripted this. The matchups are so good.
Yeah, it does kind of feel scripted. Like, what are the odds we get Nick Hawks, Rocket Warriors, and Thunder Mavs, bro? Like, these are
Um,
all crucial playoff rematches we have seen.
do you have predictions, or is it just like however it pans out?
I honestly, bro, the only time Milwaukee does good is in the in-season tournament. They were 4-0, bro. And all the games they like kind of dog walk the other team. With the injured Magic, I feel like the Bucks can actually win the first round. Nick Hawks, bro. I'm pretty sure the Hawks have gone already in trouble for not taking it seriously, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure they're investigating someone sitting out.
Oh, Trey Young, I think missed the first game that he
Yeah.
could have played potentially.
So that's kind of insane. Like, I feel like the Knicks are gonna dog walk them because they're all like, it's kind of obvious that the Hawks don't care. Thunder Mav. I literally have no idea who's gonna win that game. The Mav are hot right now, bro. 9-1 in their last 10. They could easily do it, especially because I'm pretty sure they're at home. No, they're at OKC. Never mind. Same with Rocket Warriors. Like I feel like the Rockets could actually win that. What about you, Vaughn? You have any predictions?
For the East, at least, I'm Knicks all the way. Uh, like it doesn't matter to me. Bucks, Magic, like the Bucks should win considering the injuries to the Magic right now. So in my head, I see Knicks Bucks being the matchup. Knicks taking it. The
Mm-hmm.
West gets a little iffy. Because I just don't know what to expect whatsoever from what
Yeah.
we're like. Are we gonna get like? It's gonna feel like prime Warriors. Like, are they shooting the three ball well? Are they getting their defense done? Or is Ime Udoka coaching circles around Steve Kerr? Um, at least taking into consideration Warriors are 3-7 in their last 10. I would go Rockets. And then I just think the Thunder are too dominant. So I would just give it to the Thunder on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And considering the Thunder are just a whole other beast, I would probably say Thunder meet the Knicks in the final. Um, I would like to see the Knicks win that though. I would like to see the Knicks win the cup, considering you know this is a new roster and they wanted to at least this is a good time to prove themselves. I don't feel like the Thunder need to prove anything. So if the Thunder could get this early in-season win, in-season tournament win, I think it would be good for them, chemistry-wise, morale-wise,
Yeah.
and the media will take them more seriously. Because even though the Knicks are doing decent, it doesn't feel like they're really well respected at this point.
Yeah.
So this could be that turnaround for them.
All right. Yeah, I do feel like the hype for this year's NBA in-season tournament has died off because it was like I feel like the courts still being ugly didn't help. I think I do think like not changing the format too much. Like, of course, like you don't want to change it completely, but like it's hard for people to know what's an NBA in season tournament and what's a regular game because it's always a random day of the week. And then not only that, but because it's so like within your own conference, like there's times where I tuned into a Nuggets game and I was surprised that it was an NBA Cup game. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know this is an NBA Cup game. Like I'm glad I tuned in because like I don't know, I just feel like they need to like make it more of a thing. Like maybe every Tuesday it's NBA Cup games. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. I guess with broadcasting rights, I guess would be a contributing factor.
Yeah, of
Color
course.
weather on Tuesdays. But it's also kind of hard to just watch an NBA game that you want. Feels like between League Pass, TNT, ESPN, and then next year we got Amazon and NBC, I think, into the mix.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
like people are wondering why ratings are down. It's because it's so hard to watch a basketball game. It feels like because like these are knockout rounds and they're on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. Like
Yeah.
East Coast people got to stay up late for some of these games, which I think already knocks a portion of your audience out. And then it doesn't really satisfy West as well. Middle of the week for like crucial games doesn't feel right.
Yeah, no, for real. I mean, the final of the NBA Cup is on a Tuesday, bro. The final at 6:30. Like, come on.
Yeah, I know nothing about how ratings look day to day, but if I had to guess, any early weekday is a terrible time to like show like your important games.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We have two teams we want to go into: most valuable team and most valuable player. So, Vaughn, why don't you kick us off? Who's your most valuable team for November?
I would say the Rockets. I watched a few games of them, and they're top three, top four in the West right now.
Hmm.
And this is coming from someone who had to watch them 2 seasons ago, and how terrible they were. They were a completely unmotivated team. They were really dumb. Um, Coaching, I think it was a first-time coach, didn't really seem confident in what he was doing, and Ime Udoka does know. He knows how
Hmm.
to get the best out of his players, and we're finally seeing it. The Rockets are actually finally playing games like they matter, and like this is basically their future, and it's going in the right direction. They're not a young team and just a disaster like the Hornets or the Pistons. They're a
Yeah.
tough, gritty team in the West, and the future's looking brighter and brighter. And I think a good representation of that was their games in November, because even some of their losses were close losses.
Yeah. I mean, they even got a win over the Thunder as well, bro. Like,
Yeah, like that's really an accomplishment these days, is getting a win over the Thunder.
no, but no, it really is, bro. And like a close win over the Thunder too, bro. Like that's a losable game for the Rockets. Like any other day, the Thunder will win that game, and getting that off, bro. Like that's good to see. I mean, yeah, it's crazy to see. Like a team is good when like not one player leads everything, bro. Like, you got Jalen Green leading points, you got Sengun leading rebounds, and they got Van Vliet of all people leading assists. Like they are a team who, like, out of everyone in the West, I was the most surprised to see that they're still hanging in there, because I thought they would have came back down to earth like 2 to 3 weeks ago, but instead they're still killing it. All right, for me, my team of November, kind of a cop out, but like you gotta respect it. They went 12-2 this month. It's the Celtics, bro. Like being the team to bring down the Cavs run, like you gotta get props for that, bro. Um, they were 85% all November, bro. Like that's actually insane. They, I'm pretty sure every year people think that they'll come back down to earth, or like, oh, this happened, so they can't be as good as they were last year, bro. They look better and better every year, and I seriously just do not know how they do it. They look. There were times where I was like, "Oh man, like I wonder if like their 3-point shooting, like they don't take that many threes. I wonder if that's gonna affect them." Oh, I'm wrong. not only because it doesn't affect them, but because they up their 3-point shooting, bro. It's like they know their weaknesses and they get rid of them to make them even harder to beat.
Yeah, like after every season, I always have to listen to like the Celtics were frauds last year, be it a finals appearance, a championship, an Eastern Conference finals appearance. Like they were always going to eventually break through if they kept their core, and they did. And this year is no different, especially from last year because this was a championship team. Only lost like 3 games the whole playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
and they're the same. And now Porzingis is back in November.
Yeah.
So it just everything's coming together again for them. I think fans that don't see the Celtics as a threat really have to see if anyone's going to beat them. Rosters are going to have to construct themselves to counter the Celtics.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of it, you know. And November is a good representation of that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they're their own worst enemies too, bro. So like they have 5 losses and like a lot of them were winnable. The Hawks, the Pacers, the Cavs, all winnable games for them. And like that says something, bro. That like 3 of their 5 losses were all games they could have won if they just like did one thing different, and that's like insane to me, bro.
Right, and like even like the Cavs game, there's certain moments where if Jaylen Brown was here because he was out that game, maybe he
Yeah,
would have made this shot or Porzingis back. The momentum shifts or something.
yeah.
And now they're basically all back together, and it's gonna be hell for haters to watch. It's gonna be awesome for me to watch.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, it's insane, bro. All right, Vaughn, your MVP for November.
Normally, this would be reserved for a good player on a good team, but I have to give it to De'Aaron Fox because it seems like he's the only man holding that Kings team together. He's looking like Damian Lillard on the Trailblazers the last couple seasons. Like De'Aaron Fox has been playing crazy good just for the Kings to be 12th. Granted, they're in the West and they're only like 2 games behind being in a playoff spot. And DeMar was hurt for a good chunk. Sabonis too, maybe I can't remember. But De'Aaron Fox is always just going to go under the radar, it seems, and that's just what he's cursed with for his career. But I won't let this happen. I won't let this stand. This man, De'Aaron Fox, deserves it. 26 points, better efficiency from last year, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, like respectable all around.
That's great. I was surprised you said De'Aaron Fox because I like totally expected you to say someone else. Not entirely like I knew who you were gonna say, but like I did not expect De'Aaron Fox at all. But no, that's solid. Like, yeah, he's killing it, and like for a team like the Kings, like, bro, I have so much hope that they'll bounce back. Like, I want them to bounce back so badly. I don't know if it will happen, but yeah, bro. When you look at De'Aaron Fox, he's kind of hope, like, bro. Him is a bonus. Like, all you want for them to do is succeed.
Yeah, like if they're gonna make a push, it's gonna be behind De'Aaron Fox. Like it comes down to him, and
Yeah,
if
for
the
sure.
team follows him. Because I didn't want that playoff run by the Kings to be a fluke.
Yeah.
And every passing day, it like people say it is, and I I can't let that stand, man. De'Aaron, we need De'Aaron in the playoffs again.
No, for real. Yeah, I literally had so much faith in the Kings. I like the DeMar DeRozan trade was like my favorite trade of the offseason. And just for them to be 11 and 13, like it's driving me insane. Like, so I totally get what you're saying. Like, I need them to get it together. And yeah, like De'Aaron Fox is gonna be the person to if they're gonna sneak in the plans, it's gonna be because of that man. For me, I kind of went kind of obvious. This man played 15 games in November, 30 points. I went SGA. Like, as much as like I love Jokic and thinks he's like on track to be a all MVP nomination, Like SGA is doing what we is doing the opposite of the Kings and making it prove that like it was not a fluke at all. Like this man is going insane. He's shooting at a high level, 52%, 36% from the three. This man is looking like a force to be reckoned with. Like as a guard to average a block is insane, bro. Like most forwards and centers can't average a block. And this man is doing it as a guard.
Yeah, like I think the difference maker between Jokic and SGA, like if we said MVP ends today, it's just going to go to SGA based off record and how well he's been playing. Though both players have been great.
Mm-hmm.
One in the West is a feat in itself. Like you can't be mad at that pick. Um, one of the best two-way players playing today, honestly.
No, for real. And to do it on such a good team as well, bro. Like this isn't like James Harden on the Clippers who has no choice but to do this. This man is doing it where like he has weapons to help him out and he's still performing at a high level.
Yeah, it's crazy. He literally does a little bit of everything: steals, blocks, assists, rebounds, scoring on all levels. He's the exact player you want on any team.
Yeah, for sure. The only critique I have against him is do something with those Instagram captions, bro. You gotta stop. You gotta stop. Those Instagram captions on the cards can be the corniest things I see on Instagram, bro.
Uh, is what's worse, SGA Instagram captions or Jordan McCain TikToks?
The McCain TikToks, bro, are funny sometimes. You could tell he's just having fun. The SGA like Instagram captions, you could tell he's being dead ass, bro.
Yeah, he does take it way too seriously.
Because there are times where he's taking shots at like the media or like the team that he played against. Like I think one of them was like after he lost like the MVP or something, like he made an Instagram caption. It was just like, oh brother, bro.
It really does seem like being a very good player means you're cursed with being corny, be it SGA, Jason Tatum. It's just the curse that comes with the modern NBA.
Yeah, no, for yeah, I'd like that's why they like bro, they talk about me for my post game, not my post game.
Hang that in a museum. That's where it belongs.
But some of them are like normal, and then some of them is like, yeah, Shea over, Shea under, Shea you owe me bread because you didn't cover. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just know who to go to when you need a bucket before the buzzer. The parlay stuff, it's really bothering athletes this year. I have never seen this many athletes comment on the parlays.
It does feel like once a year you get like a major comment that goes, teams
Pretty
reported on a
viral.
lot.
Yeah.
But this year it's like back to back to back to back, be it Anthony Edwards, SGA. It doesn't matter. Like
Yeah,
they
bro.
all
Like,
hate it this year.
yeah, football players, basketball. I've seen like WNBA players comment on the parlays. Like, it's kind of insane how many like at this point you just gotta ignore it, bro. All right. Anything else you want to add? Honorable mentions. I was gonna normally I suggested we do a least valuable team, but the Wizards didn't win a single game in November, bro. And so like it's no point in just dragging down the Wizards even more.
I could do a competitive team real quick. The Timberwolves, I would say, is up there because their team chemistry looks like dog shit. Like they're seventh in the West, but we all know like that cat trade has ruined them.
Oh, for
Julius,
sure, bro.
Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert has just been the icing on top. Like they look like they can't stand each other on the court, and I'm just waiting for it to all blow or blow up even more because this is Rudy Gobert, the same man that punched Kyle Anderson over an argument, and now he's got Julius Randle. Like, this is not going to end well with them.
I mean, yeah, the Timberwolves are a good pick for least valuable team in November because they're the only team that's like above 500 that's like 7-8. Everyone else are under 500 teams. And they had a losing record in November. So like, yeah, that's a very solid pick. And meanwhile, the Knicks fourth, like, bro. I was one of the few people saying neither team won when that trade happened. But bro, every day it's more and more obvious that the Knicks won that trade.
Yeah.
All right. If you're listening to the audio format, we're on all podcast platforms. Make sure you give us a good old 5-star, leave a review. If you're looking for that good old video format, we're on YouTube, so make sure you like and subscribe there. Let us know most valuable team, most valuable player, least valuable team. What do you think of November NBA basketball? Let us know down in the comments. We're on all social media platforms at Spin the Rock. So make sure you follow us there for clips, episode updates, and all that good stuff. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you again next week.